Hello everyone, Lawrence here with the Linksys WRT32X. Like these days you can get gaming chairs, motherboard, computer cases, even fans and CPU coolers. And now thanks to Linksys you can get a gaming router. The 32X comes with 4x4 multi-user MIMO for insane wireless performance. At the back there are 4 gigabit Ethernet LAN ports as well as a gigabit Ethernet WAN port. On the back is also a USB 3.0 port and a combined eSATA and USB 2.0 port for optimal connectivity, although I don't really know who still uses eSATA. Now while I will continue to ask for 8 ports instead of 4 on high-end routers like this one, connectivity wise we're doing really well here, and it's also not like the main feature and the main focus with this product. Instead it really focuses heavily on gamers and therefore has a killer Ethernet prioritization engine. Basically, this is an advanced form of QoS, quality of service, which will prioritize certain types of traffic. In this case, every sort of traffic coming from a killer networking card. You might have one in your Razer Blade or in your Gigabyte gaming motherboard. MSI has them. A lot of different companies use them instead of Intel NICs or Marvel or Realtek NICs. And it will prioritize the NICs by killer. So if your laptop has that, then this is probably a good idea. Now, while a lot of routers have this quality of service stuff built in, it's still a lot of work to set it up yourself, and Linksys really, focuses on gamers, making it super easy to just connect to the Wi-Fi or connect wired and have great ping. That's the whole goal here. I actually really like this super easy to use approach that Linksys has taken with the WRTX. There's a brand new user interface completely. Once you're in, you have to change the password, and that's awesome. I wish all routers would force you to change the password. I don't have an internet connection at the moment, so we can't really do this part, but you can actually run a speed test from within the router itself. You don't need to run it on your computer, which is awesome to, check for networking bottlenecks. But as you can see, the interface is super easy. You just see how many connected devices, how many of them are connected through the killer NIC, and which Wi-Fi network you have running. Gamers are often going to have to access port forwarding to make, setting up a TeamSpeak server or a Discord server, whatever you might want to do some port forwarding. Super easy to do. It's already filled in most of the IP address, so you just enter part of it, the port you need, and the protocol. I mean, this is super awesome. I wish it was this easy with all routers. Setting up your Wi-Fi, again, super easy to set up. A bit of a problem though. If you want guest network access, let's just show some more settings here. You can set the channel to be the same for both and also auto channel, but you can't change the Wi-Fi guest networks channel to be different from the main channel, and as a result you'll get interference with your own Wi-Fi whenever you run the guest network. So let's not use that. By going to the devices tab, again, really easy, you can just give it a different name, so my gaming PC for example, and then it's easy to know that this one is actually your gaming PC. You can see that it's wired, not wireless, and if you have it prioritized. To prioritize stuff, you just go to Prioritization, and then you can enable it for every device with a killer NIC on board, and then you can just, select, is it highest priority, medium priority, lower priority. The speed test, you just run like speedtest.net but inside your browser. And then there's router administration. In here you can do slightly more advanced stuff, but not everything. So you can just give yourself a password hint. You can check for updates, see if there's an update available, check your software release notes, change languages, time zones, the router name, if the lights are on or off, all that sort of stuff. And then advanced settings. Again, you go to the port forwarding, you can do static IP reservations. So for example, my gaming PC has to have a static IP, super easy to set up. A VPN client, no VPN server, although that is available in the 3200 ACM, but just a VPN client here. The storage, if you have drives connected, you can share those drives over the network. Your dynamic DNS system, so if you have a dynamic DNS, from no IP, for example, just log in here. And then there is also some more local networking stuff. So just IP addresses, subnets, whether or not you want to enable IPv6, and some security stuff. And then the internet connection settings, again, is it DHCP, static IP from your ISP, or PPOE? You're probably going to go with DHCP anyway. And then your DNS, this is something I really like because in my country at least, ISPs have to block certain websites. So they usually do that in a DNS way. So you can go from ISP to just say open DNS, save, and you're done. So while this interface is incredibly easy to use, it does mean that a lot of the features from the 3200 ACM have been removed. Now, I've seen people online actually cross-load the software from this one onto a 3200 ACM and vice versa. So I actually checked and the hardware is identical to that router. So I really don't understand why they removed all the features from basically a much more budget-friendly router than this one. And I would really like to see Linksys incorporate an advanced user tab somewhere on the GUI for this one so that you still have all the features from the 3200 ACM. Moving from the features and the software to performance numbers then, first of all, wired performance is just as good as gigabit Ethernet can get. You get the full-on gigabit speeds on all the LAN ports and the WAN port. USB performance, I don't really have USB 3.0 really fast USB drives, but I can tell you with the drives that I tested, the USB performance also awesome. Processing times are also really quick, and I couldn't measure any difference between using this router here, like in between a cable connecting two devices, or just running a straight cable. So processing, again, really awesome. So now about that killer prioritization, the main selling point of this router. You know, I really had my reservations about it. I really didn't believe that a router could, make any sort of measurable impact on ping times, because most of the ping time happens outside of your home network. If you connect to a server and you get 150 milliseconds ping, chances are 149 of those will actually be outside of your house, and your home network will only, have like 1-2 milliseconds of ping. So I really didn't think that it could actually do anything. So what I did was load up a bunch of devices around my house, uploading and downloading a bunch of files at the same time, all through the WRT32X, just to measure if it was actually doing anything. Now, when I used my ISP's default router, the thing they give you basically for free, I had around 40 milliseconds of ping when everything was loaded up. Now with the Fritzbox, which I tested 2 weeks ago, I got about 12 milliseconds of ping, and with this one on my Intel NIC, I got 10 milliseconds of ping. So already we're getting 2 milliseconds faster than other high-end routers. 2 milliseconds may not really seem like a lot, but if you put it into percentages, it kind of adds up quite quickly. That's 20% better ping right there. And then I wanted to test it with a killer networking card, so I did that as well. And bam, 9 milliseconds of ping. So we saved another 1 millisecond, in total 3 milliseconds of ping over the 12 we had before. That's 25% better ping with the WRT32X than with my Fritzbox. And so while my results are not as insane as the 77% improved ping that Linksys promises, there is a difference here and it does actually work. So I guess that's pretty nice. So with wired performance being as awesome as it is, let's move on to wireless performance, because that's a bit of a different story. Now, first of all, if you want to see how my entire Wi-Fi testing procedure works, card is in the top right corner and I'll explain everything. As these graphs go over your screen, you can pause them to really have a detailed look at them. But as we can see here at 1 meter, or in my living room, in the bedroom, and even outside of the house, not taking it too far, wireless performance is pretty much the fastest that I've ever tested. Moving outside into the garden shed though, the performance is completely gone. And that's because at that point I have to go over to the 2.4 gigahertz network. Now 2.4 gigahertz on this router is not quite as good as with other ones. It's something that I saw a lot in other people's reviews as well. But at 5 gigahertz, it's one of the best performing. Now I do want you all to take these numbers with a grain of salt. I did way more testing with the 32X than with any router in the past, and that's because I was getting very inconsistent results. So I was doing a Windows test and then performance would just drop off near the end, or it would stop. That was leading me to believe that maybe there was thermal throttling going on, so I opened it up, just covered it in fans. That didn't quite solve the problem, although there was a little performance boost. I even called tech support. I was on the phone with tech support for over an hour, like 2 sessions of over half an hour, so that wasn't able to fix it. I went to synthetic testing, and while performance was, I guess, more consistent in synthetic tests, it wasn't quite perfect yet. So hopefully Linksys will let me keep this unit for a little bit longer. Maybe I can update the firmware in the near future and do a follow-up on this video, but for now, Wi-Fi performance has the potential to be awesome, but it's not quite consistent. So then for a conclusion to my review of the Linksys WRT32X. I actually really want to like it. Wired performance is awesome. The killer prioritization actually works, which was a massive shock to me. And I think it looks better than the ones with the blue front. But it is exactly the same hardware as the WRT3200 ACM, which also has way more features. And this one's 50% more expensive. You see, this one comes in at 330 euros. The 3200, exactly the same product, different software, more features, is only 230 euros. So at the moment, unless you're a gamer who wants those, 3 milliseconds of ping improved, I really can't recommend this one. I'd say go with the 3200 or with the Fritzbox that I reviewed last week, even though that one was slightly more expensive. Anyway guys, if you like this video, please press that like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button, hit the subscribe button for when I make a video that you do like. And if you want more frequent updates, there's Twitter and Instagram link below. Also, massive thanks to the Patreons. If you want to be a Patreon and support the channel, get me better lights, better lenses, better audio, Patreon link is in the description below as well. For now though, massive thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.